Hey there. Now I know that it may look like I'm not doing anything but this music stuff, but actually it's funny how one thing leads to another, you know? You know how I was saying that it's useless to listen to music on the internet because the two subcomponents of the system get busy and they sort of collide? Well, that's been true for me anyway, until last night when just playing regular old MP3 files was starting to stutter, and uh, of course the system was incredibly busy. I had several things on the go. I've switched artists. Now I'm looking at this PJ Harvey, and I have a great big compilation of music of hers and some stuff that these are all MP3 files and some stuff that I hadn't heard yet, and I thought I might as well give it a listen. And I found that these ones in particular, anyway, were just extraordinary. But anyway, it was skipping, and now I had downloaded this thing, and I went, and I guess there must be some, the ones with the minus signs I haven't converted yet. If you look at these, they're these are pretty much like the same as FLAC, a very high data rate. So there was these playing, and I had this thing, this encoder going. This is a pretty high resource thing. I had this encoder going, Virtual Dove, doing a resize, of course. One of the things about this particular artist is that all of the videos that I've found online have been they're just terrible. But sometimes they look salvageable. And one of the ones that looked salvageable was, I put it back because I didn't want to get confused. I still have not the original, not that one, not that. Yeah, okay. Now this one with the German writing, okay. Now I downloaded it. It was 480p, right? 640 by 480. And if I run this, what I'll do is I'll restart the recording after I do any playing of these things because my voice might get out of sync, and that'll resync it. I just want to show you. Okay, so that's the aspect ratio is wrong. But other than that, the quality's not bad, right? Now, the original had a data rate of about 700 K per second, 700 kilobytes, I guess, or kilobits per second. Is it kilobits or bytes? Not high anyway. Like a regular movie is. A movie that a DVD, not even high quality DVD, a medium quality movie you get at the store. The old versions are 4,000. So that's sort of television stuff. And this is only 700. Of course, it's compressed, and it uses hardware acceleration to do this trick, right? Your TV can't do that. That's why the YouTube wants you to You see, it doesn't matter how high the data rate is as far as YouTube is concerned, because it doesn't. It wants to. YouTube, the company, I suppose, wants to feed their videos to a TV screen, right? And a TV screen is connected by cable, which has infinite bandwidth. And infinite bandwidth means that they just want to draw it without any stretching. You don't need any hardware scaling or anything. They're gonna, it's gonna draw line by line the image as it easily flows out of the cable. But it doesn't matter. You can supply just as much data with a smaller frame size, and that's less of an impact on a computer system because that doesn't require as much video memory, right? I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I know it works. The memory that's allocated is a smaller amount, and everything is in fractions of pixels, and then it can be rescaled, and using clever methods, they can fill in all the little bits and pieces. Given the fact that there's a high data rate, data flowing in. That can be used to construct an image of an arbitrary size, right? You can't do this on your TV. Your TV might draw a small screen or something, but that's just a fake. Usually, I think. I don't think that modern TVs yet have any graphics acceleration. Anyway, therefore, to get to maintain if you want to send a video up to YouTube and have it retain the data that you sent it, you have to make the video the size for which the data rate that you want would be appropriate on a television set. You see what I mean? And so now this thing, starting out at 7K, I had copied it to this one, and I bumped even though there's no extra data in there, I added data to the file, which is just copies, really. Whoops. It's sort of like I'm doing essentially the same as what the hardware would do, only very, very slowly. A once-off thing. Trying to do a hardware rescale by first overloading it with extra video data, so I can scale it up, in the file, and not have any gaps and holes. And so now I have this one, and this one has changed the aspect ratio, but it's the same height. This is the so now this thing was going on in the corner, but at the same time, the program that created that one was running, doing its thing. Okay, now here, this is 480p, same source, and you can see it's much clearer, right? This is the correct aspect, and this would look good. You can't tell really. This is going to be packaged up to do another video, and who knows what it looks like on your screen. But to me, when I'm looking at that, it looks like high definition almost. But that's not good enough because it's only 480 scan lines. So if I sent this up, this here, which is now at a whopping, the data rate is over 300 kilobits per second, okay? Started at 700. Now we're at 3,000, but that's not big enough. I got to take this semi-original thing, and if I want to get the quality I'm getting from this on YouTube, I got to bump up the data rate again, give it more fake pixels that it can stretch, right? So that there's no stretching that goes on YouTube, and it'll retain some of the quality. It'll be almost as good. Now, how big is this? This is 1.4 gigs. After I do the rescaling to 720p, this will probably be up to about maybe 2 gigs. I'll upload that to YouTube, and if I download it back again from YouTube at exactly the same quality, it'll be about 400 megs, which is what I started with. Well, 600. I mean, that is, nothing will be lost. But anyway, having all those things going at once made this thing start going slowly. And of course it couldn't. Actually, I reinstalled this thing. But that icon is for real now, sort of for real. As I'm going along, I'm inventing more and more projects to do. As you saw at the beginning there, one of them has to do with this, and I think I know how it manipulates the shell. And I found some COM objects in the registry, and I want to write a utility that allows me to sort of see, from what we learned about, examining a COM object, if you know its interface, and looking at the various functions and what they do. That's something that should be not too much of a problem. No, I just got sidetracked. I was about to say about the thing slowing down. That led me to wanting to reduce the data rate of those audio files. Okay, and where was I? In the audio, in here, these ones are not. They're not. These are variable bit rate, compressed, average 192 variable, which is high quality. It's higher quality than most audio files, but low data rate. It's kind of like that same video conundrum. You get the same quality, but you don't have to pump as much data through. I don't have enough resources. I don't have a cable for this audio. And so yeah, then I wrote a batch file to do it. And that's in here using the lame thing. So I learned how to use the lame command line thing. I can do all these things with a batch file. And then of course I'd see if it worked, and that got me sidetracked on this music, which is fine. Now, there was a point to all this. Yes. Now, that book that I read, right? Well, I didn't read all of it, but some of it. There's this here is that list. The one that makes up, well, partly makes up this recently used thing. And now this, I'm starting to recognize this number all over the place. So this seems like an app launcher. Okay. I'll check it out in the registry. And what I want to do is make a utility. Now see, look. This here, you remember we made that directory? If you made a directory and gave it a name like this, and then put dot and then an interface of some sort, then that becomes not a directory but a kind of applet, right, in your directory tree. So I sort of know what those things are doing. I'd like to be able to print this in human readable format. Right here, I can get these icons are randomized, but if I found a program associated with something, I could put its icon here, and instead of writing, SVC host everywhere like this stupid this thing, right? It's all con hosts, various hosts. Right? Like, it's okay that you can see what the services are. It's not such a bad view, I guess. But there is a lot of SVC hosts. There must be. And you don't know. Where is SVC host? This is services. Oh, okay. So all of these things are running under SVC host. So I'd like a list like this, right? Rather than Document Explorer, which gives you this kind of list where everything is SVC host. They're not listed here. This, in a way, has a better view than the system internals thing. Now, let's see now. Task host. Now, see, it shouldn't say that, right? Okay, it's a host for what? What's the task? This shouldn't say it hosts a task. It should just display the task. Like, it would be like doing if you wanted to see a list of programs running on your computer, Process Explorer. Maybe I should restart. Well, after this I'll restart just in case the audio is out of sync. What is it? Prop X? It would be like in DOS, if every process started with, it's command.com, and then you have to go and search for the parameter, which is the actual program name. Listing SVC, that's not the program. As far as I'm concerned, that's the operating system, right? That's like saying, okay, okay, here's NT-kernel for everything, right? That would be true. It could list for every single process as the process is NT, something or other dot exe or whatever the root is of all of this thing, if all this stuff could say system, and then you got to search through the tree and find out what it is. This list is useless. The information's all in that bubble there. That's what it should be displaying, not this, because everything is launched by the same. This is the launcher, like the operator. If I run something, Notepad or my Notepad, right? Now where is that Notepad? See, it says Notepad Q, right? Are there two or one going? Well, it's two. Where's the? And here's another one. Quick list. Launch Notepad. You don't need to see that. Well, it's nice to know, I guess, where it started from. Well, it came from command. Now, so that if I launched like 20 different programs, then and all you saw was command, right? And no program name, it would look kind of stupid, right? It'd be very confusing, and that's what this thing is doing. I don't want to see SVC host here. I want to see the DLL name, right? Maybe even the interface identifier and so on. And it's not listed there, but it's got the information. You can see it, right? This is local service, no network. And that's got to correspond to some binary somewhere, and the binary should be listed, not the thing that launched it. Alright, so that's another project. I want to do that. And I want to be able to make this list look like that. Let's have a nicer view than it is now. And so therefore you can sort of look at the history of everything that you've done, what programs you've launched, because this seems to be a list of programs that were launched. Maybe not through here always. Maybe yes. Some of these are services. That's not a service, but it was launched through here. So this here, 7C5, blah, 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 must stand for the thing that invokes the program, right? Useless information. All you want to see is that one. Now, photo viewer. That's okay. That's fine. It says that. So that's another project. What's the other thing? I had a bunch of projects that I thought of. So yeah, this a task list without any, launch exec stuff, the recent thing, and the WME com thing I want to do, so that the work is piling up. The things I want to do are multiplying as I go along and fiddle around with the system. So I'm not exactly sure what to do first. You saw that I'm using my fancy list box for this. I don't know if I could make this any easier. It would be nice if you had if you could make a side thing come out, right? And I'm not sure if I can always get the icons. I don't know what this means. I'm not sure. I'm sure I had something else I wanted to say. Hang on. I gotta stop this anyway. Right. Okay. I'm going to start it up again. Okay. Just quickly. This is going, so it's possible that this isn't working very well either. I think what I want to do first is just do this manager for the recent this recent section. Oh, come on. Something happened and a little box appears here and I don't know why. I'm not sure how to invoke it. It would be nice if I could put a button on here, right? And click on it. And you know that thing that it never deletes anything, right? So you could have a complete history of everything that you've done, just like internet browsers have a history. This thing has a history, although you can't see it. You can try removing things, but eventually it stops filling up. See, I know there's more than that in there, right? I don't think. Yeah, see, it's going down, but there are more things in there. Let's see them. I don't want to pollute. I don't want to pollute that thing either. But all of these things, if you look in what I added in order to make that list, was a walking function for the registry. And it goes and enumerates through and returns you not the data, but just well, in this case, just the key name, because it's the key name that's the program in this case, right? Okay, now the function I'm using to do this enumerate is called reg enum value. Okay. Now there's another one called reg enum value ex. So you get something extra. And one of the extra things you can get is that's the other project on my list. I forgot. A registry editor. A thing for editing registry values and also seeing the properties of the keys and so on. And if the help will ever come up, you'll see that one of the things you can pull out of a registry key or value or whatever is when it was created and when it was accessed, just like a file. But regedit doesn't show you that information. It might be interesting to be able to see when you accessed something and not that, only that you did. Doing enumerate, but they don't. Okay, query info. There's an EX version. EX, no. I know that this has an EX version, I'm pretty sure. Here, that's the one I like to see anyway. And all these have an EX version. So I'd show you the extra bits. There's something called a class. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Last write time, right? So you can find out when the last time something was written to. And that's just that function. The query probably has a few more things you can find out. So now that means I'd like to learn how to make one of those tree controls. Drop and so many projects piled on my plate now that I don't know where to start. I think I'm going to just start with this little start menu manager thing that will allow me to at least look through my history, and then I'd like to have a button, right, to say clean out things that are no longer being used, invalid paths and stuff. Take them out, and maybe it can just back them up in the same way I back up by just renaming the key or something. Yeah. Okay. So when I'm going to do that, I don't know. I still got a lot of encoding to do. Just giving you a heads up.